Hey everyone, welcome to 13th game, I guess, of Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Pandemic Legacy is a board game where you're trying to cure diseases, but the board changes every time you play it based off of a whole bunch of different factors, and it changes differently for each person playing, so my game is going to look different than somebody else's game of it. And last time we had a pretty big mess of things where we had a character die. So we're back again to try playing October. If you are enjoying this content, please consider giving us a subscribe, give the video a like. Hopefully we can get more people to find the channel. But before we hop into gameplay, let's talk about today's beer. So we have from Oso Brewing Company, Hop Debauchery. It's a double New England style IPA. I have not had anything from this brewery before, so I'm not sure what to expect. That is quite good, especially it's nice since it's quite cold. Big, kind of that tropical fruity IPA flavor. Definitely gets some grapefruit in there, but it's not like the really sharp grapefruit. There's definitely a strong, sweet backbone to it. Alright, so let's hop back into gameplay here. Let's just double check that I remembered to add those two funded events that we now have. So let's give this a shuffle. I think I'm going to be adjusting myself over to here, so I will adjust the camera accordingly. I'll be a little bit more in the way of the board itself. So we have Khartoum, London, Paris, Buenos Aires, Mumbai, Manila, Moscow, Beijing. So if nothing else, we have a really nice combo of things here. It's kind of funny setup there. Let's get our pile shuffle done quick. Let's also get over to YouTube. I just realized I forgot to tweet out that this was happening, but that'll be fine. I probably need to nail down a consistent streaming time to drive viewers, but it's been a lot of fun for me thus far to be doing all this streaming, and hopefully as time goes on, we can get the channel to continue to grow. As I do this, let's just talk about our start of month bonus. Since we won last month, we get a bonus. We had two options: either to advance all search parties 1, or equip, add 1 equipment sticker to a city card in one player's hand. We don't have any searches currently available to us, so we're gonna add one of the equipment cards to most likely Kitty Pryde's hand, but we'll do that once we figure out where we have our diseases and where we get to place. Double check one thing. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we weren't supposed to open anything, even if we lost the start of the month. Well, we weren't supposed to. One last shuffle. I adjusted some stuff slightly, and now I feel like I'm off kilter for this. We no longer have our character who can just blow up these bases, so that will be one thing we have coming up. So we start with 3 in Tokyo, and if you remember correctly, one of the things we have to do, as we place stuff out here, is, and this is our last one of these, place on the board a permanent military base in Tokyo for helping us complete this goal. If we can manage to destroy both of these, we'll be in a really good spot. Yeah, that Debauchery is very good. So 3 in Tokyo, 3 in Moscow. We cannot have an immediate outbreak. That would be completely broken. 3 in Shanghai. So I guess we're going to head that way. 2 in Paris. Wrong color. Long stack. If I cut that in, should be a good spot. 2 in Washington. Man, I am having troubles today. Probably just making it worse for myself. 2 in Chennai. Not touching this pile. 1 in Calcutta. 1 in Los Angeles. And 1 in Mumbai. It's not necessarily an ideal start, but let's look at those card upgrades that we can place. Grenade belt. Not in action, destroy faded figure, med kit, hazmat suit, drone escort, field hospital. I think it'll be worth it to get a grenade belt onto Kitty Pryde. And let's do it on Paris. I don't think it makes much of a difference. So let's quickly go over some of the upgrades and relationships here. Relationships, at the start of your turn, if you start in the same city as a family member, gain an extra action. So these 2 are family members. Whoever starts the game will start with an extra action, and since we're going to have to trade cards by being in person in a city, yeah. Kitty Pryde can fly between any 2 structures. So had she had Tokyo or Pagoda, she would have been able to fly there to destroy the military base. Jean Grey needs, and Kitty Pryde always has 5 actions to take. Jean Grey requires only 4 cards to cure disease, so halfway here on red. With yellow would only require 3, and is flexible, can discard a card from her hand to take 1 out of the player discard pile of a matching color. And I think we're going to start here in Shanghai. Or, yeah, let's start in Shanghai. And just to keep it the same way it was, Jean Grey will be brown, Kitty Pryde will be the pink. Kitty Pryde starts first, and is going to have a big total here of 6 actions she can take. One, two, three. She can fly between any military or any bases. 4, 5, 6. Completely taken care of the problem here in red, which is awesome. We get Baghdad, riot gear, which is nice, and Milan. So we are 2 short of being able to cure blue at this point, or 1 short if we get them all to Jean Grey, but we don't have a really nice way to trade cards anymore. So at this point in time, everything's been reset over there. We can start to, of course, Hong Kong and Riyadh. We have way too many of these black cards in there. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, quarantine for 3, walk back out of there for 4, just in case there's an epidemic and we lose that. Well, I do have riot gear, I have parachute, I can show that card and discard this one, so it's actually 1 into here, 2, then 3, I think, and 4. Oh, I had 1 more action. Nope, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. I counted it correctly there. That's nice. A red and Karachi. 1 more red and we can cure red. That would be amazing. Get that taken care of fast, plus we only have 1 red cube left up until Delhi gets 1. Delhi is not in great shape. And London gains a blue. Phone buzzed. Just letting me know that I am live. I think I already needed that phone. Normally I set that aside ahead of time. So that takes us back to Kitty Pryde. She has 5 actions. 1. 1. 2, 3. 2, 3. Quarantine for 4. Move here for 5. So we have to do this quarantine 7 fated cities. We have 2 of those done right now. Obviously we're far away from destroying 2 military bases or curing 3 diseases, but it helps to start to get them on the board. Istanbul. Oh boy. Some riot gear there. And Cairo. Cairo is annoying because it costs 2 cards to drive our ferry into there, and that sucks. Let's flip here. Montreal and Bangkok is, of course, right where I'm at here. However, I do have riot gear. I can show this card and I don't have to take the scar, which is great. I don't know that I needed to fly over there, or all the way over there. doesn't do me necessarily a ton of good. I'm going to actually fly back 1, 2, I'm going to take an action, put a med kit on Shanghai. It means I won't take a scar. If I would have to take one, I can discard this instead. For 3, I'm going to swap these 2 cards for 4. It's not necessarily the best use of my action, but this riot gear is going to be really handy for walking through here and quarantining things, since really the rest of the world is not bad. It is in the faded area that we have troubles right now. So Apollo, red, epidemic. That's the opposite of red. Milan gains 3 blues. So I'll probably have to deal with that sooner rather than later. And now, since we don't have a military base in Paris anymore, it's a little bit of a haul to get to Milan. I mean, I probably should build, at some point in time, another research station over there. Essen, somewhere like that. So let's flip our 2. Shanghai gains a red, and London gains a blue. That's not bad at all. So Kitty Pryde normally would start by getting a scar, but she has riot gear, so that won't happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are looking 2 yellows, which cures yellow. Since that only requires 4, and it doesn't take an action, and it requires 4 based off of right here, not based off of Jean Grey's requirement. So we have yellow taken care of, which is awesome. I don't think I got rid of Bogota, so I still have the ability to blow this one up, plus there are 2 cards in here that will allow me to do it. This is all good and set here. Flipping to over here, Washington and Montreal. So now here comes the interesting thing. Direct or charter flight. So I can show riot gear. So if I go here, I can take a charter flight, I believe it is. Charter flight, discard the city you are in. So we're discarding this and using Mumbai to get into a rioting city of Milan. So that is 1, 2. And then I can do 3 and 4, take care of the problem that's in Milan. Without having to, I had to burn 2 cards to do so, but I had no blue cards to burn to walk across those pesky but useful roadblocks. So we're still searching for that red. We have a grenade belt and Montreal. Montreal would be a nice spot to meet up, but I don't have any great way to get there yet. Flipping to Paris. Good thing I'm there. And Milan. Oh, good thing I went there. So we still have our coverage here. So that's 1. That's not an action. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've completed this. However, this objective only completes, as it says, at the end of the game. We can't have just dumped them out quickly, which is why I'm trying to kind of spread out the love here onto some that haven't even been flipped over here, so we can hopefully hold this kind of line of defense longer. And what are we drawing? So we draw an epidemic in Washington, so we're 1 blue card away from being able to cure blue. However, we're drawing Bogota. This would suck. Please let us get the Bogota quickly before it comes up. This has not been an ideal pull, that's for sure. Hit these fairly early on. I think they might be slightly closer together because, as you saw, I kept on drawing from this pile when I wasn't supposed to. London gains a blue, and Milan gains a blue. So Jean Grey, 1, 2, 3. We'll discard Sao Paulo, since we don't need yellows to cure anymore. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bogota is safe. We do have Paris that could be a massive issue. I'm actually thinking I did that wrong now, but it would have cost an extra card to get into Bogota. Otherwise, Johannesburg. Nice. So, we have our 4 reds. Allows us to cure red immediately. We have our C4, which reads as not an action. Discard it any time during your turn to sabotage a military base. So we're still in the draw 2 cards phase that we're getting at. We haven't resolved any epidemics. We don't need to do the discard part, but before we calculate that, we'll blow this up, getting one of our 2 military bases taken care of. Somewhere in here we have where they end up on fire. We are so close to being done with this part. I'll have to look at the rules, because it is possible to have destroyed every single military base prior to us getting more objectives. I think technically it's possible if you're really gung-ho and destroying more than 2 at a time. We've only done 2 at a time because it's an objective, and we've only generally had 3, sometimes 4 with the search, but you don't want to count on the search. So we only have blue left to cure. We're 1 card short there. Shanghai gains a red. What did I launch off the top? Bogota. Alright. This is tough. What black cards do we have here? Because all of these have stuff on them. Because I really want to get to here. However, I got no good way to do that, since I would have to discard a blue card. I'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or, actually, I'm just going to discard a blue card. I hate to do this, get rid of a blue card when we're so close, but get rid of Paris. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Reason that's useful is that guarantees that we hit Paris is the one card in here that could have given us an outbreak, and we're now safe from that. London is the bottom card there. Milan was also in there, so we're safe. We can hopefully draw blue card, Chicago, and we have the ability to blow up Tokyo now. So we just need to get this blue card over here. Also, this is 8 cards. So let's get rid of this symbol. Since we have 2 right here, we don't need the extra. So we're set for blowing up Tokyo. We're set for our quarantines right now. Montreal and Washington outbreaks, causing Montreal to outbreak. So let's move this up 2 and just hit everyone around them. New York is the only one they both touch, so we get 2 cubes. Blue is definitely an issue for us now that we're going to have to tackle fast. We have Montreal. To get to Montreal and Washington area next turn, that'll be nice. Again, I hate to spend it, but we have enough blue cards here, -1 to be able to cure, so I think we're going to be fine with that. So that was... Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, I know there's one last thing I need to do. This sucks because Montreal goes up to a 2. What sucks about that is I can no longer take direct flights or charter flights to Montreal, which is what I would love to do. But instead, I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. For Jean Grey, thing 2, New York, and Bangkok. So, if I'm thinking this through correctly, let's flip our 2 here. Paris gets blue, and Bangkok loses its quarantine marker. So we're still at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're still good there. It's getting close, but still fine. Kitty Pryde's turn. She has 5 actions. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have taken an extra one off of London for 5. Reason for that is now none of these are in danger of outbreaking. New York is not a card that we've actually drawn. It has just gotten cubes from outbreaks, but we're also in position to get the New York card, which is really what we're shooting for at this point. Ho Chi Minh City and Los Angeles. These cards don't do anything for us, so it's better to put them in here and call it good. Flipping 2, Delhi gains a faded. Wasn't a city we had taken care of. Kolkata gains a faded. Also not a city we've quarantined. So we have to race to blow this up, which I think can happen next turn, and cure blue. It's Jean Grey's turn. 1, 2, which allows us to cure blue, and technically the number of cards we have here is calculated immediately, so before we could cure, which means I'm just getting rid of Cairo as well, so that we would never have had 8 cards. Blue is cured, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Since blue is cured, we can remove all the blue cubes from place in one fell swoop, which actually there should be none on Bogota, or one on Bogota only, for that reason as well. I wasted an action technically cleaning stuff off of Bogota, but that was my mistake. Since yellow is already cured, everybody can treat it like the medic. If you haven't played the base game, the medic can removes all the cubes from the city immediately when they take their turn. Not Calcutta. Gains a faded. This is getting close. And resilient population. Remove any one card, so we'll be able to remove a single card from here if we need it. However, I don't think we're going to. Tokyo. And Moscow. Oh, so close. So because we got Moscow, that removes the quarantine marker from there, and we're down to 6. It's going to take an additional turn, according to my calculations. But let's double check this. So, 1, 2. I can fly to any other place because of this ability, which is no longer going to be any good. So that's 3. 3. So that's not an action. Huh. Yeah, I have to do this. So I completed this now. So 1, 2, 3. Man. Can I fly? No, I cannot fly to Baghdad because it's level 2. Had I some way to get there, I'd be able to take care of this right now with, well, I've spent 3 actions, 4 and 5, be able to deal with that. However, I have no way out since I have no remaining cards. So, 3, 4, 5. I'll be able to get to a faded city, no problem now, on my next turn, potentially over there as well. One quiet night is huge, and Sydney, it's nothing. We're going to spend 1 quiet night. So the reason we spend 1 quiet night right now is we don't want to flip any of these cards. We want to figure out a way to get into this area, which we actually have a way right here with Bangkok. So 1 quarantine, 2. Let's do the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have completed this objective, and that actually was not too difficult. You saw that I already pulled to adjust our funding, and so if we come here, today's date is 7/9, and we have Kitty Pride and Jean Grey. We have a win. Funding there is going to be 0, and we have something to read here. Scratch off our win bonus for the month of October. And what happened to my penny? This table is going to need... Ooh, fun. Add 3 roadblock markers anywhere on the board. So that's going to help us kind of control this area again. So that'll be good. And we have our game and upgrades to look at. We eradicated none of these, so we can't up or improve our stats there. We don't have any new research stations, so we can't put any of those down. Oh man, I really want to do some more character upgrades. I think we should probably give Kitty Pryde the ability to be a chopper pilot, so she'll be able to cross roadblocks without spending a card. And I think I still have another sheet of upgrades I can look at here. A few more. Local pressure. If you're in a military base, you may quarantine adjacent. Formidable. You may use city, a card of an adjacent city to construct a building. I'm actually going to put that one on Kitty Pryde as well, simply because I think we're reaching the point where it wouldn't be bad to have, say, an additional research station down here and possibly one over here as well. So those are our two game end upgrades that we're doing. We dealt with that fast, only hitting 2 epidemics, so this is, yep, an epidemic. Ooh, that one quiet night was clutch. Had we not hit that one quiet night, that would have been donezo for us. There would have been no coming back from that, since we're drawing 3. Wouldn't have been enough cards in there, even with the resilient population, to keep an outbreak from happening, and we already had 2 happen. So, whew, that was close. So as for when the next game is coming out, there's a chance I'm going to play on Thursday. Still up in the air about that, but that would be the soonest that a game would come out. As we are done with October and into November, reset this part of the board. We are getting close to the end, and the board does not look horrible. There are a few bad spots here. Delhi, Istanbul, Cairo, that are going to make it tricky to move around, but we'll see what happens. Let me flip over to the right program, and it's time to sign off. So until next time, bottoms up.